Good morning, everyone. It's Sunday, and it is time for a plushie update. I have been not doing what I should be doing. I played with a couple of new patterns. I played with a couple of old patterns. I played with a free pattern. I haven't been doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, after doing that luck of the draw, I needed to play a little. So, I mean, a few of them are things that I needed to do. Some of them are with the embroidered eyes for my 3 and under section that I want to come up with. And some of them are just because I wanted to make them. So, I get a bunch of people asking about how much I sell my items for. And I don't usually talk about prices because people are very opinionated about pricing. And some, not all, but some can be pretty rude and judgmental in the comment section. But this one video we are going to try. And if people start to do that in the comments section, it will be the last video that I talk about pricing in. Not to mention, I will delete that comment because it just causes a lot of conflict and it's not fun for me and it's not fun for the people who like and enjoy reading the comments and interacting with others. So, when it comes to pricing, your opinion's your own. Keep it to yourself. Just because a price does well in your particular area does not mean it's going to do well in my particular area or someone else's particular area. You know, if we're in the ballpark, great. I sell mine at prices that I am comfortable with. So, on that note, just be kind, everybody. Be kind. All right, so let's see. I started off with I needed to still do a few more stitch from Luck of the Draw. And I didn't get 4 more made, but I did get 2 more made. And these I put embroidered eyes on. I mean, they're okay. I had to, like, do it a few times, you know. Chenille Brights. Denim and light blue, hibiscus and ballet, 6mm hook. This pattern is by Plushie Co. It's her Alien Dogs pattern. With the exception of the ears, it is no-sew. You do have to sew the ears on. And that can be a little difficult because the yarn is so thick to kind of get that folded, you know, to get that shape. It's a little tough because it's so thick. Now, she does tell you to go down a hook size for the inner part of the ears, but what I did was I used the regular hook size, the 6mm, that I did the rest of the body with, and then I went up to a 7 for the outer part of the ear. And it did help just a little bit, but I felt like if I went down in hook size, that it would be even tighter and stiffer and harder to bend. So that's why I stayed the same and then went up. So we have 2 more little stitch. These will go in the 3 and under section. And just to show you a difference in the eyes, you know, I like this better, but I can suffer through it for the little guys. So 2 alien dogs. Oh my goodness. And checking it off my list so I don't get lost. Then I wanted to play. So I bought another Ninja Turtle pattern. This is my third one, and I have to say, I think I have finally found a pattern that I like. So, first thing I had to do was test the colors and decide which color green do I want to use. So I started with emerald. Now this is all in brights, and it is 100% no-sew. It's great. Turtle shell is made separate. The little belt is attached to it, and you just slide it over the body so the shell can come off. Now I did want to use this yellow, this particular shade of yellow, for the giraffe lovey, but it's very stiff. So I figured I can deal with it, you know, in a small amount like this, but there's no way I would have been able to do it on the lovey and not hurt my hands. So for size, it's a little taller than the soda can. So I tried emerald green, and I thought, that green is too dark. Now with this light hitting it, it looks perfectly fine. But in person, it's very dark. So then I tried to do it in sage. And I like the sage better, but I kind of felt like maybe it's still not right. So then I tried kiwi. And other than like a dark forest green, these are the three greens that are available in brights. This I thought was too light of a shade. So I decided to do sage. Now the other change that I made, of course, you know me, I got to play with the pattern, is she uses a bobble stitch for the white to put on the eyes, which I think is cute with it bulging, but it bulged a little too much. So I tried doing it with a puff stitch instead. Now I did have to go back and clean up a little bit on the top to not have the white showing up there from, you know, the color change with the puff stitch. But I like the puff stitch better than the bobble. But, you know, somebody might like the bobble. And even this part here, the little tie, that is when you change the color to the back to the green. You pull your yarn forward and leave it there. She has you do another round, and then you make this little part, and then you can cut and hide your end from that. So technically there's not even surface crochet, except for when you go to pull up a loop. Like they're really, it's good. Like you make the arms and legs, they get crocheted in. You work from the bottom up. It's really cool. So I have these two that will go to market anyways, even though they're not the colors I'm going to use. And then this one has the bobble stitch eye, but I switched over to the puff stitch and did, don't ask me their names because I don't know them, did all four in the sage green. It didn't take me very long to do this. I want to say less than 45 minutes. Now, mind you, I was playing with it. There is one error in the pattern, and it's on round 10. It's an incomplete round. It's short 2 stitches for what it tells you you should do, so you just continue to the end. Then, oh, let me see. Okay, you can see on this one, this one was the first one. Okay, so here they have you do a slip stitch around, but up here they do not. You can see it here, like I forgot that I was changing that to adding in a slip stitch round. But here, you can plainly see how nice and clean just adding in that back loop only slip stitch round makes a big difference on how that looks. So that was my 2 changes. I changed from bobble to puff, and I added 1 round of back loop only slip stitch to get a cleaner look with the headband or eye mask, whatever it's called. But these, and I know I forgot to say on the stitch I'm going to price at $12. Whoops. These are just a little bit bigger. I mean, if you don't count the ears. These I think I'm going to do at $15. So I have six Ninja Turtles. And honestly, I did not mind making these. Now, by the time I got to the 6th one, I was ready to move on to something else, but I really did not mind making these. So like I said, 3rd time's the charm. I've bought over the past couple of years. That is my 3rd Ninja Turtle pattern. And I really think it's the one I like the best. And that is by Stitches by Stat on Etsy. So then I got back in the mode of I need to do some remakes. And I worked on the hanging plants. I did 2 spider plants, one in pistachio green and one in the avocado green. This color, minus the black, I did like a brown, I think, on the last one for the pot. That was the first one that sold at market. So I decided to do 2 different colors. This is bright. To me, this one is more realistic looking. So I did 2 of those and 1 more of these. They're the 2 plants that sold. This one I made a little fuller than the last one. It's a pattern package from Minnie's Crochet Friends. And there's 5 different plants in it. This one is one of the easier ones. The agave is an easy one. Of the fancier plant part, this is the easier of those 3. And these are, most of my car swings I sell for $10. These I have priced at $15 because the plant part does take a little bit longer than the others. So we did those. And those are another one. I kind of enjoyed making them. So I was able to do back-to-back 3 of them. Now these, I actually bought the pattern last week, I think. I think it was last week. And it's actually a Halloween package, and I don't want to have a whole lot of Halloween things, but it had sugar skulls in it. And sugar skulls, I think you could do any time of year. So, I mean, it has like a Dracula and like the creature from the Black Lagoon. It has all kinds of different things in it. But I wanted this. So this one was my first one that I did. And I did the chenille brights. And I think these are 14 millimeter eyes. I did kind of struggle just a little bit, not a lot. And I think it was just me, like, okay, I'm starting to get tired, but I really want to make this and I want to try it out. And so I had to work on this one a little bit. Then I switched to the new Premier Plush. They're close in size, but this one looks so much smoother than this one. You know, completely different style yarns. And in this one, I put a 16 millimeter eye, which I like much better. And I found it hard to make the noses look centered. But I did the nose before I did the eyes. So before you close it up, before you add your eyes, stitch in your nose, and then it's a little easier to kind of make it centered. But I think these are kind of cute. I'm not sure how I'm going to price these. I'm kind of leaning towards $7-ish, kind of. There's a whole bunch more in this pattern pack, but I would like to make a few more of these. There's one, they show you how to do the embroidery if you want to make it like flowery sugar skull. I kind of liked the top hat and the bow, but I think going forward with the top hat is if I use, say I used plush for the skull, I would probably switch to Parfait Chunky to make the hat just a little bit smaller. I mean, it doesn't look bad like it is, but it might look a little more proportionate. I don't know. It's cute, it's fun, and it is fast. Now this, of course, added more time than, say, this did, but, you know, I had to have it. So those are from Poggy's Place. It's her Sweet Spookies pack. And like I said, it comes with, you know, there's lots of things. There's a mummy, there's a actual skeleton instead of just the skull. There's a Dracula. There's a lot. There's a lot of them in that package. The only ones I've tried so far are the sugar skulls. Working on my littles section, I went back to a free Instagram pattern and did some rubber ducks. I only got 2 finished. I need some regular ones too. So I got 2 finished. One was requested, and I will probably leave it set aside so that I can take it to the market after this up-and-coming market. Just to make sure, just in case I don't have time to make another one. So I'll probably leave one of them at home because it was a request. And just in case, this is by Amateur Hour on Instagram. It is a free pattern. I do not do the beak the way she says to do the beak. I surface crochet it. And hers, she has you make it and then crochet it in the round, which is perfectly fine if that's what you want to do. But depending on what yarn you're using, it can be very thick. So I just prefer to go and surface crochet it. So these are really fast. They sell decent. I do the rubber ducks or dashboard ducks, whatever you want to call them. I do this pattern and I sell them decently at $10. I mean, I don't sell out, but I usually sell a few at each market at $10 a piece. Oh, wait. With the can. And I forgot the skull. That's the one with the bow that I smushed. And the one with the top hat. I'm forgetting everything. So, in the live Friday, we were talking about different things that could be made for the 3 and under section. And we were also talking about bluey. I had commented that I wanted a small bluey. And then someone said, I'm probably going to say this wrong. Lumiel Art has a small bluey. And I'm like, wait a minute, I think I have that pattern. And I did. And I bought it a long time ago. And again, the crocheted eye thing just drove me nuts. Or you could do felt eyes, but at the time I didn't have felt eyes to, or any way to cut the felt eyes that it wouldn't look like a 5-year-old cut it. So I pulled that pattern out last night. Now he's a little wonky. He was shifting. Everything was shifting on me. So I did a little bluey, and it is smaller. But I also did the felt eyes. Now, everybody keeps asking what kind of machine. I am using a Sizzix Sidekick, it's called. Sizzix Sidekick. It's only got a 2-inch cutting space. So I went with this because price, because it's a good brand, and I really don't need anything bigger than 2 inches. So for what I needed it for, it was fine. Then I ordered they call them like thinlits or wafer thin dies. They're just like, I got oval. They come in this pack. They're nesting, and I've only broke out the ones that I'm using. I ordered circles, and again, only broke out what I'm using. And these are not name brand. They're inexpensive, like $4 to $6 a package on Amazon. So Jenna had gotten this little button die set for me. I think she got it on Temu. So I really can't point you in the direction of where the button dies came from. But I use these on the small mini scrumps. So what you do, and I'm not going to sit here and cut out an eye. You get these plastic plates. As you can see, mine are well cut into. So you have a plate on the bottom. You put your felt in. Then you're going to take your little die, and it's got a ridge on it. If you can see that there, you want that facing down. So you're going to place that on top of the felt, facing the cutting part facing down. And this goes on top. You're making a sandwich. It slides into here. And then you would just crank it through like you're making spaghetti. And it can be tough. One thing I have noticed with this is if I am too close to the front, it will not feed through. So I have to bring this back more towards the middle to get the plastic to start to feed through, or I cannot crank it through. So there's that. And then I just cut the felt down into strips that'll fit on the little plate. Now they have bigger machines, which, you know, would work just as well as this one. I just, because I recognize the brand as a good quality brand, that is what I went with. Plus, I also consulted with Sue because she is a paper crafter, and she said that their stuff was quality stuff. But that is what I use to make the die or the eyes, and then I use Gorilla Glue hot glue sticks to glue them on. And I do not have a trash sitting here. So that is that. So that is how we made these. Just cut a larger oval, a smaller oval, glued those two together, and then glued them on. And I just like press down and hold it for a minute or so to let it dry. So I think possibly I could live with this bluey pattern. When I first got it, I was not like the bobble arm and leg fan. But for something quick, I mean, it's kind of quick. It gets 32 in the round. You know, I saw something, and I'm going to have to try it. When you're doing these types of color changes that you want it centered, and they always shift, like you can see this kind of goes at a little bit of an angle. It shifts. That's because of working in the round and tension and all that. But I saw this thing that said if you do the whole thing in front loop only, that you won't get that shift. So I'm going to have to try that. I will test it out before I swear by it. but I'm gonna give it a shot. And I don't know. I think maybe I could live with this. The eyes are much better like this than the crocheted. Crocheted is just creepy. So, and plus this was like the last thing I made last night and I was getting tired. So, but this guy, in case I didn't do this, he will probably be 12-ish, I think. Maybe. So I only made one because I was just testing the waters again. So I have one mini bluey. Then my next is another new pattern. Loaf cats don't do well for me. And someone, when I mentioned this before, in the comments had mentioned that because it's such a simple basic shape, and I have a lot of more detailed, complex items that I like to make, that it doesn't attract people that come in my booths because I have these other, you know, like fancier, we'll call them, items. And I really love cats, and little kids love cats. And I don't know how this pattern came up on my feed on Etsy, but it did. And I thought, oh, this will be great. Oh, I know what it was. Somebody had mentioned this other cat in the live. And I'm like, I am pretty sure I bought that pattern and I could not get it to work. Like, if it had stripes, the colors weren't lining up. I only made one or two and I wasn't a fan of it. So I went to double check to see if this was the pattern I was thinking of, and it was. This cat was on my feed. And I was just like, I love this cat. You know, the way the picture was taken. Now, their thumbnail picture is slightly different from the other pictures in their pattern, but these are actually better than the thumbnail because of the shape. So you don't have to do arms or legs. You have a tail. It gets crocheted in, and then you tack it in front. He's got bobble stitches for his little nose. Surface crochet the ears, very simple. There's 3 different color patterns that you can follow. This, I've done 2 out of the 3, but I have made 3 cats. And this one, I did give the embroidered eyes so that it would be baby safe, or safer for babies. I used the new Premier Plush. Now, like this could use a little cleanup, but you know what? It's fur, so I'm leaving it. I did clean it up on the face on this side because it looked really sloppy. I probably should come back and do right there as well. I think I will. I think I will do some top stitching and clean that part up as well. Very easy. It was so easy, and I did not find any mistakes in this pattern. That's always a plus. It was less than $3 for the pattern. It was very inexpensive. And then I took this same color pattern and did the colors in reverse. I'm not sure if I like this one. I like this one better. The colors, I don't know. Like, wasn't thinking he's going to have a black face. How am I going to use the black yarn to make eyes? What color eyes? I tried to put green eyes on it and it looked really weird. So I just gave him the little sleepy eye look with some gray acrylic yarn. And I think that looks just fine. That was actually easier to do than that. And then I did the solid color. All of these were made with the new plush and gave it the little sleepy eye look with the black. These are cute. I like these. Now, with the can, how easy they are, I'm thinking 15, 20 might be too much for this. It's not very complex. So I'm leaning towards 15. So these were fun to make and easy. And you have to pay attention, and concentrate on what you're doing because there's lots of increases and decreases. That cat is from Jazzy Family on Etsy. Was new to me. On the pattern itself, it says Pammy Dolls. P-A-M-I Dolls. So Jazzy Family. And of course, I'll have everything linked for you. Some may show up as a regular hyperlink. Some may show up as a picture with a hyperlink. It all depends on YouTube's mood that day. Then the last one that I have to show you. I can't say that I really have a favorite this time, but this one definitely is at the top of the list. Definitely. So I was watching Christine over at What's Up Cupcake, and she's shown this a couple of times. The first time she showed it, I wanted to get it really bad, and I couldn't find it on her pattern list, and I didn't want to bother her. But when she showed it again this last time, and she said how she had it worded on her pattern list, I was able to find it. And I'm like, I have to have this. Now, I could have gotten a free version, but it is different, off of Instagram. Mom Stitchetti has one. You can use it with any one of her bodies that she uses, like on her cows and her elephant and all that. But I kind of liked this better. And it was a $3 pattern. It came off of Ko-fi. And, oh, let me just show you. This thing is, like, adorable. I made two. I did two. This is, if you don't know what it is, a baby Demigorgon. It is from Stranger Things. And I don't know. I just think it's the coolest looking thing. Now, it'll probably take a particular crowd to know what these are, but I know, and I'm old. So I think it could be any age group, but a particular crowd, if you get my drift there. Now, these, I did them out of the new Premier Plush. I do have to say, the tan, the toffee color has been the worst color I've tried so far. There is a little drag on the hook, kind of reminds me of the messed up Sweet Snuggles Light. The red, the black, I've used the blues, the white, the gray. Those have all been fantastic. The toffee, not so great. So, next to the can, this is a good size. It is not hard. There is a tiny bit of sewing. You sew the head onto the body. The arms get crocheted in, and then you sew the legs on. Now, I waited until, on the first one, until after I sewed the head on to sew the legs on, which made it a little bit more awkward. But I wanted to make sure that where I placed them helped it sit up. They sit up just perfectly fine. And it's like, it's really a good pattern. And I did not see any mistakes in this pattern either. I don't know. I just think they're adorable. This is by Just a Mom _ crocheting on her Ko-fi shop. She does have an Etsy, but I did not see these listed in her Etsy. I mean, personally, I prefer to buy patterns on Etsy because I just feel like it's a little bit more secure, and you do get some buyer protection, as well as the sellers get seller protection. So I get a little skeptical of using some other sites, but I have used Ko-fi before, and I so far have had no issues. So this one is adorable, adorable, adorable. I have no idea what to price this at. It wasn't hard. It probably took about an hour-ish, especially being a new to me pattern. Maybe, oh gosh, 20 to 25. I'm thinking, maybe. We'll see. I'll have to have this setting next to some of the other items in that price range, like $20 price tags, $25 price tags, because sometimes, you know, it's not all about the time. Size is perception too. So somewhere between 20 and 25. And I would like to get one more of these made. I still have so much to do. It's more fun when you get to do new stuff all the time. I need chicks and eggs for sure. Bluey for sure. I would like to have a couple of the bigger ones and a couple maybe of these smaller ones. Oh, where did I put my little bucket? Let's see. The giraffe lovey. The yellow wasn't good for it. Let's see, what else did I have in here? I need a clownfish. Yeah, that probably won't happen. The corgi. I do need Madeline Mako elephants. I am completely out of elephants. I did the hanging plants, so that can come out. I need Myrtle the turtle. Pickle keychain. Itty bitty snakes. I would like to have, not a necessity, because I have some. I definitely need the chicks and eggs. That's the Bluey. That's another lovey. It's a horse lovey. Avery crafts a lot. That's another keychain. See, I wanted a Shrek, maybe. Puss in Boots, maybe. Yep, that was that one. We need to make some bullet bees. Some without safety eyes. I wanted the ballerina mouse. I have a lot of things that I wanted to get done that I'm not going to be able to get it done. Possum lovey. So that's like 3 more loveys that were in there that I didn't get a chance to. Wiener dogs I need to make. The moose, that's not going to happen. The ducks, I have 2. It says on here that I wanted to make 10 of them and 5 with no safety eyes. So I have 2 out of 10, 2 with no safety eyes. And the last one that was in the bucket was 2 medium scrump. They're not all going to happen. So I'm going to have to prioritize which ones that really need to get made. Like the chicks and eggs for sure. Oh boy. So let's see. Those are quick. I can do a couple of those. Those are kind of quick. The wiener dog and the bullet bees. Medium scrump. I probably can't get 2. I might be able to get 1 done. Ballerina mouse, maybe 1. Clownfish I could do. Bluey, I probably won't get 3 done, but I could maybe get 1 inhabit. Chicks and eggs, myrtle, and an elephant. So these are the ones I'm going to prioritize and try and get some of them made, hopefully. As long as I don't get distracted watching somebody else's video and see some really cool pattern that I just feel like I have to have. Anyhow, that's what I have for you, and I appreciate you guys all being here, hanging out for me in my live, and I'm going to say thank you now for being kind about pricing in the comments, and we'll see you in Wednesday's video.